how to refer to the data from VF page to Apex class, Apex class to VF page, referring the data from Apex class into the VF page, or from VF page referring to the data into Apex class. So bidirectional communication between Apex and Visual Force. Now in the Visual Force, I will not be able to write the logic. I will not be able to write a logic. I told in the beginning classes only, it is only for the creation of UI. If you want to apply any logic, we are supposed to go to the Apex classes. If you want to write any custom logic, then we are supposed to go for Apex controllers. If you want to write any custom logic, we are supposed to go for Apex controllers. If you want to go for any custom logic, we are supposed to go for Apex logics. Now, if you want to write a logic, we are supposed to create a class. If you are creating a class, how you refer the class in the VF page? First question. How you refer the data members of the class in the VF page? Second question. How do you send the data from Visual Force to Apex class? Is the third question. How do you call the action? Fourth question. If you understand these 4 points, then we'll be knowing how to control your logic from the Apex class and invoke it in the Visual Force page. Now let us start with the first point here. We have given Apex class. We had public string first let me give you this Apex class. If you want the Apex class to be used in the VF page, the class should be either a public or a global. Only public classes or a global classes can be accessed from the VF page. So I have given VF page. Then I am giving controller. If you want to refer to any one of the S object, if you want to refer to the properties of any one of the S object, then we define that S object as standard controller. If you want to refer to the properties of any one of the Apex class, then we are supposed to define that Apex class as controller. If you want to refer to the properties of any one of the Apex class, refer to this as controller. If you want to refer any one of the Apex class in the VF page, that class should be defined as controller. Right, boss? Controller means custom logic. Okay. And if you want to refer any one of the Apex class in the VF page, class has to be a public or a global. Only public classes, global classes can be accessed within the VF page. Okay. Next. If I want to call any Apex class in the VF page, class should not contain any parameters in the constructor. Now I got constructor, I am giving string name. Now this class has a constructor with a string name. If you want to invoke any Apex class in the VF page, that class constructor should not have any parameters. That class constructor should not have any parameters in the constructor. If I have a constructor with parameters, execute it, you get a warning message. Visual Force error we are getting. So what it is expecting? Constructor without any parameters. You don't define a constructor, no problem. If you don't define a constructor, dummy constructor will come. It will also not have any parameter. If you want to define a constructor, it should be a non-parameterized constructor. If you want to define a constructor, it should be a non-parameterized constructor. If you are passing a constructor with a parameter, it will not accept it. Right? So it should have constructor with no parameters. Constructor with no parameters. Constructor with no parameters. I hope you are good. Okay. The second point, if you want to refer to any variable, look at the point. I give public integer. So what this method is giving you? String, right? Okay. Now, whenever I say name, if I call a name, I am calling what? Name. When I call a name in the VF page, let us see what is happening. Now, when I call a name, internally it is calling what? Get name. When I call a name, internally what it is doing? I said name only, but what it is calling? Get name. What it is calling? Get name. So getter method means it will get the value of a variable from the Apex class and give it in the VF page. Getter method, it will get the value of the variable. Getter method, it will get the value of the variable from the Apex class and display it in the VF page. Getter method, it will get the value of variable and display it in the VF page. Getter method, it will get the value of variable and display it in the VF page. Get the value from Apex class and give it to the VF page, which is called getter method. How do you define a getter method? Look at this. If I have a string name, getter method is going to be string get name. It should return you or else any value. It's supposed to give any string value. Get of name. Name is the variable, getter method will be get name. When I say return name, return the value of the name which is available. If you want to return some random value as per your choice, return value. Generally, what is the getter method? Get name, return name. If I say decimal amount, how you define? Decimal get. Whatever the amount we have, that value will be given. This is what? Getter method. Now, set. Set means what? Whatever the value you are entering in the VF page, that value I want to save it to the variable in the Apex class. Whatever the value you are entering in the VF page, the value we want to save it to the variable in the Apex class. Then I go for setter method. Set the value. Whatever the value you entered in the VF page, that value should be saved to Apex class variable, which is called setter. How you define the setter method? If string name, set method will be like this. Public void set name string. Set name. Now I have decimal amount. What is the decimal amount? Public void set amount. So what was that? This dot amount equal to public void set Are you getting my point here? Are you getting my point? So what was this? Setter method. What is the purpose of set and get? Get means the value from Apex class given to VF. Set means value entered in the VF is saved to Apex. For which you are supposed to write get and set. Sometimes I want to only set. Sometimes I want to use only get. Then we use this. No boss, I want to make it simplified. Then we can straight away give string name set semicolon get semicolon. If I give this, system will automatically create setter and getter. Instead of you writing the setter and getter, system will automatically create this setter and getter. Right. If I give decimal amount set get. Now setter method for amount, set method for amount, getter method for amount. I hope you are good. Setter and getter method for amount. Setter and getter method for city. Setter and getter method for city. I hope you are good with this. Setter method, getter method. Setter method, getter method. Set the value, get the value. Set the value, get the value. Set the value, get the value. I hope you are good. Set the value, get the value. Right. Now, look at the point. So I am giving here public. If you want to define any variable and use it in the VF page, it should be a public or a global. Any variable you want to use in the VF page, that variable should be a public or global. Second, it should have setter and a getter. It should have setter. This I cannot give single. If you want to use this format, both I have to give. No, I want to give only get, then write public void, public string get of name. No, you want to use standard format like this, then you can go with set and get together. I have to write set and get together. No, I don't want to write both of them. I want to take only one at a time. Then you have to define your own function, like a public string get name or public void set name. You have to define. No, boss, I will go with the standard format. Then set is semicolon get. It is a fixed. It is a fixed. I hope you are clear. Right, Amma? Okay. Any query? Right. Then I am giving here public I have given this. Now I am giving here we are getting here test. So what happened when the page is loaded? When the page is loaded, it will go to the controller. Whichever the class you have defined as a controller, when the page is loaded, whichever the class you have defined as a controller, that class will be called. In the class, what is there? Constructor will be there. Execute the constructor. After executing the constructor, getter method will be called. So what is the order? When you load the page, first it will go to the controller, run the constructor. After running the constructor, data will be loaded on the page. Data is loaded means you are calling the getter methods. Data loaded on the page means you are calling the getter methods. I hope you are good. Am I clear? Am I clear with this? Okay. Now look at the format here. Name and age. I hope people have followed this. Okay. So let me give you some important theoretical points before we go for an examples. If you want to refer to define if you want to refer to we define apex class as controller. We can only define one apex class as how many apex classes we can define as a controller? Only one apex class. Apex class should be public or global. If you want to refer any apex class in the VF page, then constructor should not have any parameters. Constructor should not have any parameters. Next, setter method, getter method. If you want to your page, then we should define setter and getter. So what is the setter? This will read the data from VF page assigned to the variable in the class. Getter method. This will read the value So if you want to refer to any variable, we should have setter and getter. Example, string name, set semicolon, get semicolon. People have followed this point. Next, variable should be public or global. Variable should be public or global. Variable should be public or global. If you want to refer to any variable in the Apex class in the VF page, then we should define setter and getter for the variable. Setter, this will read the data from VF page assigned to the variable in Apex. Getter, this will read the value from the Apex class and return to the VF page. Variable should be public or a global. Then let us go to the next one. When we invoke the page, when we invoke the page, first constructor will be invoked. When we invoke the page, first the constructor will be invoked, then getter methods will be called. This is the basic structure of the programming. So how many Apex classes we can define as a controller? One Apex class. And that Apex class has to be public or global. If you want to refer to any variable in the VF page, variable has to be public. And it should have set and get. Set is not mandatory, get is mandatory. But if you want to use a standard format of flower bracket, set, get, both we have to define. Okay. Now, any query from your end? People are clear? People are clear about this? Okay. Let us do some basic examples. Let us do some basic examples. Create a Apex class, employee, create a constructor, assign the values, create a VF page. The last name, first name, phone. So first create a class. How do you create a class? Basic. Create a class, create the variables, take a constructor, assign the values. Create a class, create a variables, create a constructor, assign the values.
Lisa, can you please switch to the use cases page
Sure.
for the requirement? Thank you.
We are trying to invoke a method. In the last session, already we have seen. How to create a VF page with input text boxes. Let us see the next example. Basic example only. I'll just create the UI for you first. I just want to create right. Let us go to this A value, B value, and result. This is the structure what I want to form. First, let me create the UI. Then I'll go for the Apex class. Because we are already familiar with this UI, let me start with the UI first. So I'm going with Apex section header. Apex form. This is block. No. I'm giving Apex page block buttons location equal to the page block. We are creating a page block buttons. Value equal to. I'm not writing any action right now. Once we create the Apex class, I'll write the action. So let us have a view up to now. We just created a section header, form, page block with a page block button. Anyone has any query up to this? I hope everyone is good with this example. We just created a right section header, page block title. Then we have page block buttons. Then I'm creating Apex page block section. Still, if anybody has any query on the page block section item, look at this. We have page block section. Page block section will divide the row into number of. Now when I say page block section item, when you say open the section item, close the section item, it is called one element. Once you open till you close, it's called one element. Within this element, whatever you write, it's up to your choice. Whatever you write, up to your choice. Doesn't matter to us. Once you open till you close, it's called. Once you open till you close, it's called one. Right. If you don't mention number of columns, You have to mention 1 or 2. If I don't mention, by default it will take 2 columns. Now as per our requirement, what I need? Value equal to so within the page block section item I have created one. Similarly, one more section item. Each section item is printed in one column. This is the we got A value, B value, and result. This is the basic UI what I create. Okay, I hope everybody is good. This two together is what? One column, one page block section item in one column. Whatever we write within the page block section item is a part of that page block section item only. One page block section item means once you open till you close, it is one section, okay, one element. Once I open till I close, it is one element. Whatever I write is displayed in one column. I hope you are good. Okay. Let us go to the next one here. Now I was supposed to write Apex class. Public integer evaluate. Public void add. Whenever I call add, whenever I say cancel, I want to reset. Right. A value, B value, result. Now if I want to use that, calculated. Right. Now look at the point. Action. Action. When you click on the button, I want to call add method. Action equal to add method from Apex class. Cancel. Action equal to. So when you click on the button, we are calling what? Add method. So method should not have any parameters. Method should not have any parameters. Now we are calling add method. We are calling cancel method. Now look at this. In the input text box, whatever the value I enter, that should be saved to a variable called I told value equal to a value. Set the value what you entered in the box to variable called a value. Whatever the value I entered in this box, save that value to a variable called a value. Whatever the value I entered in the box, save this value to a variable called a val, which is called setter. Set the value. The value in the box, set this value to the variable called a. Now I told value in this box to now when the page loads, what will happen? Whatever the data of A is there, that will be printed. Whatever the value of B is there, that will be printed. When the page loads, it will get the data. Then whatever the changes you make, that is set to the variables. Are you getting my point? So when I load the page, when I'm loading the page, what is the value of A? Null. B, null. Result, null, because we are not assigning any value. So go back to the page, have a print. Null. Then I'm setting 10. Set this value to A variable. Set this value to B variable. When I click on add, what will happen? Go to the server, perform the action of add, reload the page. Reload the page. When you reload the page, whatever the fresh values of A, B, result are there, they will come. When you reload the page, when I click on the button, it will go to server, it will perform the operation, it will reload the page. Look at the point. Reload. Now you don't want entire page to be reloaded. Then what I can do? Re-render. Refresh the element whose ID is. This is how we are giving. Cancel, resetting the value. People have followed this example. Am I clear with this example? Clear? Action equal to the method from the Apex class. So whatever the value we are entering in the input text boxes, they are saved to the server. They are saved to the server. Now whatever the values we are entering, these values are going to the server. Are you clear about this format? Clear about this format, Amma? Am I clear? People are followed? Yes. It's ID. Anything you can give. Unique name. Any name that you feel like giving, give it. That's only to identify the element uniquely. Right. Any other queries, boss? Everyone followed? Right? Shall we do an example?
Sir,
Yes, Amma.
hello. Can we make the result read only because it's an output value,
Yeah.
right?
If you give it as output text, it will become read only.
Okay. Okay.
Now I want to show in a box, I gave input. You just want to display, give it as output text. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, let us go to the next example. Yes, Amma. It is a null, no? So what is the, see, you gave a value. Now, what is the default value it has taken? 0. Look at the next one. People try to create this example, boss. I hope everybody followed that. Right. So do practice the basics first. If you are comfortable with the basics, you love writing the program. Now first start with the Apex class, Amma. Start with Apex class. Whenever we are going with the page with Apex class, we have to start with Apex class first, then come down to the VF page. Previous example I stored in VF page to understand. Right? So always start with the Apex class. Now tell me how many variables you require in the Apex class now? You require one variable for storing amount, year, rate, interest. How many methods you require? Two methods. Submit method, cancel method. Submit method will calculate the interest. People know the formula, right? Let me write formula also. Right. Calculate the value of interest and display. Preventive measures, boss. Right. First start with the class, Amma, everyone. Everyone start with the class. We just started creating public decimal amount. Start creating. No more discussion. కొంచెం gap వస్తే చాలు. Now start creating the set. How many variables we require? We require 4 variables, right? Public, decimal, interest, public void calculate. So we have given one more method, public void. The method name can be anything of your choice. It is a method. You can give anything of your choice. Now start creating it. Put it on the paper. Don't analyze. Come again. It's not necessary. Anything that you feel like giving, you can give. Method name is a string. Anything what you want to give, you can give it. Right. Now we have this. Now let us create a page. We create a simple class with the 4 variables with the 2 methods. When you call a calculate method, it will calculate the value of interest. When you say when you say cancel, it will reset the values. Then go back to the next one. Now, so you are supposed to create. If you want to call the class, what will you do? Invoke the class here. Interest calculator. Then we have section header, title. Apex page block. Whatever the message you want to give. Then we have Apex page block buttons. Location equal to command button. Value equal to, what was that? Submit. Action equal to, what is that action? Name of the, whatever the method name you have given there, we are giving. Then we are going with command button. Value equal to cancel. Action equal to, then we have page block. Page block. Page block section item. In the page block section item, I was taking Apex. I'll put label. Value. I'll just take it. I'll take the combination of this. I'll take 4 elements first. Now, how many columns you want? Columns equal to 1. We have amount. This is how we create it. Right, boss? Page block section with page block section item. Have a preview of this. Then I need to give re-render so that the entire page will not be refreshed. If you don't want to give a refresh entire page, we give id equal to then I can give re-render people. This is how we give. Right, boss? I hope you are good with this. Clear? Okay. Now, let me explain one more point. Yesterday, there is a confusion between item label and item value, why we are using. Yesterday's class, we are not done with Apex programming. We cannot show the output of item value. Let me show quickly one example, what that item value and item label is. Right? I hope this is clear. Right. Let me come back to yesterday's class. We have given a pick list where we was constantly giving item label and item value. What is the difference between that? We are supposed to understand. This example is good, right? Everyone has followed. Clear for everyone? Right, boss? Followed or not?
Sir, we can
Yes.
sir, we can give ID equal to PB even in the form also we can define also.
Anything.
Okay.
See, if you give ID for the page block will be refreshed. If you give ID for the form will be refreshed.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Now, let me give you this. Listen carefully, Amma. Pick list example I was giving. Public string set. Public string. One basic example. Public void. Now I'm giving result equal to, you have selected, I'm giving what? Whatever the value you have selected, that is given. You have selected. What is this selected? Again, if I give selected, you'll ask what is this selected? I'm taking some variable, ABC variable. What is the name of the variable? ABC. ABC is what? Variable. What is there in this variable? Let me give you. So how you refer to the class? Now you want to create a pick list, right? Apex form select list size equal to 1. Options we have created. Select option, item label, let us say capital, give some course, SFDC. Now we give this. Label values I give. Okay. Item label, item value. Here I gave value equal to, what is the variable I gave? ABC. Now what does it mean? If I select SFDC, Satish Maila will be coming. Where is that Satish Mala stored? In the variable called ABC. If I select dev apps, Krishna will be coming. Where is this Krishna stored? In the variable called ABC. Out of these 4 options, which option you will be selecting, I am not sure. Now, if I select HTML, this Raghu Bantu will be coming in the variable called ABC. Variable which will store the item value of the label which you selected. Whichever the item label we selected, the corresponding item value will be coming. That is saved in that variable called ABC. Now look at this. I am giving a button. Action. I give result. Let us see. Now, what are displayed here? SFDC, DevApps, HTML. In the pick list, what are displayed? Whichever the values, whichever we have given as item labels, whatever I have given as item labels, they are getting displayed here. If I select SFDC, click on go, what are you getting here? Satish Mala. What is that Satish Mala? Item value. When I select DevApps, we are getting Krishna. So what was that? Whichever the label I have selected, that corresponding value will come. Where is that corresponding value stored? In the variable, which I have given as value equal to variable. Whichever the label we have selected, the corresponding value will be stored in the variable. I hope you are good. So if I select the label, value will come which is stored in the variable. Based on the value in the variable, I will write the logics. Like if it is a customer, perform this. Just now I have done interest calculation. What I will give? Number of years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I will give. You will select 1, 1 year interest. 2, 2 year interest. 3, 3 year interest. Are you getting my point here? Are you getting item label, item value? Labels are displayed. Okay, whichever the label you select, corresponding value will come. That value is stored in a variable. That variable we are going to use in the logic. Is that was clear? Right? This was a confusion yesterday's class. I hope you are clear with this. Clear with this? Clear? That's the reason I told when you go to Apex server side operation, we'll be understanding how the item value will be used. Now we got this item value. I will perform the operation as per my requirement. I hope you got my point. Clear? Clear, Amma? Everyone is good? Any query on this? Any query on this? Everybody has followed? Okay. Now, the next point.